So we looked at the quantum Fourier transformation, the quantum phase estimation, and the quantum matrix inversion algorithms. And we didn't really say what you can do with them for machine learning. So let's talk about the kind of algorithms that you can accelerate with these methods. So all of these algorithms belong to what you can call quantum linear algebra or basic linear algebra subroutines, but quantum variants. And the idea goes back to this correspondence that we started this course with. So quantum states are really just some variants of stochastic vectors, or a special variant where you can have complex probability amplitudes. And you can look at quantum computations in two different ways. One is about transforming probability distributions, and the other is just doing linear algebra on these high-dimensional vectors. So in the third module, the learning algorithms that we looked at focused on shallow circuit algorithms and quantum annealing, which are unable to sustain coherence in the quantum chip for a long time. So doing linear algebra is very limited. You can only do very simple things. But if we have a perfect, large-scale, robust, and noise-tolerant quantum computer, then we can use these algorithms. So, so far we have seen a couple of these. So we looked at these elementary gates where you basically apply rotations and a couple of other operations. And then we looked at the quantum Fourier transformation, which can be thought of as a signal processing primitive. Then we looked at eigenvalue or phase estimation. And the interesting thing about this algorithm is that what it actually does, it changes representations. So when you go back to the beginning of module 3, we talked about how you can encode classical information in quantum states. We talked about amplitude encoding and basis encoding. And what you're actually doing here with this eigenvalue estimation is you change from one representation to the other. And so this is very useful primitive because some quantum algorithms operate on amplitudes, others on registers. So depending on which one you want to use, you might want to change representations, and then this is the routine to use to do that. Then we talked about quantum matrix inversion, which was the first breakthrough algorithm in quantum machine learning, because this was the first proposal to gain exponential advantage in executing a learning protocol. So the very first such algorithm was quantum support vector machines. And since there have been many, for instance, topological data analysis, and also Gaussian processes, and that's the one that we are going to look at in the next lecture. But there are many, many, many other proposals to use matrix inversion as a primitive for learning protocols. The typical recipe for this is to take a look at the learning algorithm, and if there's matrix inversion in it, then it's a perfect fit. You can straight away apply it. And if there isn't, then you might be able to change some conditions and parameters in the algorithm to have a variant that uses matrix inversion. For instance, the quantum support vector machines solve a slightly different problem than the most common classical implementations of support vector machines. They use the least squares formulation of support vector machines because that has a system of linear equations that you can solve with matrix inversion. But there are many other linear algebra subroutines that you can accelerate by quantum computers. So another example is preparing a kernel matrix. So if you go back to the lecture on kernel methods, you know that we can prepare this matrix where the elements are, say, the dot products of the data instances. So we can do it fast in a quantum computer under certain terms and conditions. Then we can also do quantum principal component analysis. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to reveal the eigenstructure of a quantum state. And we can do that when we have some unitary operation. That's what we use quantum phase estimation for. But since the density matrix is also a Hermitian operator, you can also think of it as a Hamiltonian. So there is a way of self-exponentiating the quantum state and reveal its own eigenstructure and thus derive a quantum principal component analysis algorithm. Then there are many other routines you can think of. Calculating the Hadamard product, which is the element-wise product between matrices. And there are countless many other primitives that use linear algebra on quantum computers. And so these are the kind of algorithms that give you a massive speed up. So here we are talking about exponential speed up compared to the best known classical algorithm. But all of these algorithms comes with caveats. So first of all, again, you need a very large scale and perfect noise-tolerant quantum computer to implement them. And once you have that, you still need something called a QRAM, or a quantum random access memory, which is able to give you data points in a superposition in an efficient manner. So it's not about just preparing an arbitrary state and one by one and putting them into superposition. That would be too fast. Then all of your exponential advantage would go away. So here we want to retrieve data points in a superposition fast. And it is unclear how we are going to build a quantum RAM, or even it's possible at all. So, but with these warnings in mind, it is in principle possible to give an exponential speed up to machine learning algorithms by using quantum computers.